Hey everybody, Sneaky Narcotic, back at it again with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be going over some more Ikoria Lair of Behemoths spoilers. Before we get into today's video, guys, let me please ask y'all to like, share, and subscribe. It would mean so much to me and I would greatly appreciate it. I've been looking at my YouTube numbers and not only has 95% of y'all not subscribed, that number is actually higher. So if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed yet, please let me get that number down. But without further ado, let's get into today's spoilers, starting with Rielle, the Everwise. 1 generic, 1 blue, 1 red, legendary creature human wizard, and it is mythic rare. Rielle, the Everwise, gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. Being all-knowing is a matter of remembering which thing it is crucial to forget. And it is a 0/3 for 3. Now, the first ability, the fire-breathing ability, basically, is... It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It can get obscene, especially if you're thinking about putting this in Commander. But really, that second ability is super useful, especially when we have 2 cards in Standard right now that win us the game for basically not having any cards in your deck. I didn't mention those cards, but I did mention some cool cards that are very helpful to that type of playstyle. Cathartic Reunion. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard 2 cards, then draw 3 cards for 2 mana. That actually just got reprinted in Ikoria, and so with Rielle, the Everwise, you would discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards, then draw 3 cards. And that is great. That is super good. A similar card that's also in Standard right now is Tormenting Voice. This is basically Cathartic Reunion Light. Discard a card and then draw 2 cards. So you would actually draw 3 cards with this Tormenting Voice instead. And that will get significant when you can Cathartic Reunion for 5. You can Tormenting Voices for 3. And basically, you're just going to start drawing your deck over and over and over again, keeping all the good cards and discarding all the bad cards. Another thing to think about is that this will help you against those pesky mono-black players or even Demir players that like to make you discard your hand. Because every single time you discard your hand for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. So they're going to have a harder time of getting you to discard your cards when you're drawing cards off your discard. The last thing I wanted to think about was for Commander. As far as I'm aware, there's not a standard wheel deck per se, but with Windfall, you will discard cards equal to your hand size, and then draw cards discarded this. Draw the same amount of cards discarded this way twice. So Windfall will, let's say you even have perchance 3 cards in your hand. Each player discards his or her hand and then draws equal to the greatest... the greatest number a player discarded this way. So you could potentially have 0 cards in hand and then draw 7, or you can have 7 cards in hand and draw 14. That would be cool. So I really like the combination here. I think Rielle might even be a good commander just because of those cards I mentioned, the Jace Wielder of Mysteries, I believe, and the Oracle of Thassa are the 2 cards in Standard, as well as Laboratory Maniac in Commander. Our next card of the day is Obosh, the Preypiercer. It is a legendary creature horror Hellion, and I believe that's Hellion and not Demon. I tried to look at the, try to translate that myself, and as far as I can tell, it's Hellion and not Demon. But anyways, it has Companion, and it says each non-land card in your deck has an odd CMC, and that would be to be able to use it as a companion. Before we go any further, guys, let me please get y'all, if you do not know the mechanics of Ikoria, I will leave in the description right below a link to the video where I go over in the most simplistic of ways to get even the newest player of Magic understanding the new Ikoria mechanics. So please go check that out, but I'll give a little quick tidbit to what Companion is. Basically, you have one copy of one card in your sideboard that is your companion for the game. You reveal it at the beginning of the game, and your starting deck has to be checked to meet that it meets the companion guidelines. For instance, this companion guideline is each non-land card in your deck has an odd CMC. So, for having each non-land card in your deck as an odd CMC, you can have this as your companion, and what do you get? Whenever a source you control with an odd CMC deals any damage, it deals double that damage instead. So this actually sounds pretty cool as a commander, mainly because there's really some cool cards that it interacts with. Dictate of the Twin Gods, not only would you deal double damage from Obosh, you would deal double damage from Dictate of the Twin Gods. So Obosh himself would actually deal 12 damage. And now that doesn't sound good, at least as good, until you realize that that's 2 turns of commander damage. If you can put Obosh as a 99 in a Mardu deck, just sell a Blade of Goldlight, doubles that damage. And she doubles her own damage because she is a 5, 6, 7 CMC. So she gets, let's see, that's 10, 20 herself. Obosh will then get, let's see, I'm sorry, I didn't think I'd have to be doing quick math right now. So it'd be 6, 12, 24. She would actually be at, yes, 5, 10, 15, 20... 30? She would actually be, no, I'm sorry, 40, maybe? It's 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, yeah, 30, 40 freaking damage off of this. That is actually insane, that Gisela can deal 40 damage by herself, after all the Dictate of the Twin God, Obosh, and Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight are out. That's ridiculous, but she also halves damage, so that's pretty good too. And then you have this card. So this card gets looked over a lot, I believe, but Void Winnower is actually a really good card for 9 generic mana. Your opponents can't cast spells with even converted mana cost. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even converted mana cost. So why don't you go all in with this odd CMC tribal type of thing and put Void Winnower in there? I think it'd be hilarious. But anyways, our next card is Shark Typhoon. Yes, Sharknado does exist, and it is 5 generic and a blue enchantment, and it is a rare. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost, and has cycling. Pay X, 1 generic, 1 blue. Discard this card, draw a card. When you cycle Shark Siphon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. Now, it has a pretty hefty CMC, don't get me wrong. It is very hefty. But it does follow this weird, kind of tribal that is going on. First off, it follows flying tribal, which, of course, is other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. This is in standard. I didn't put it on here, but Favorable Winds is in historic, so you can potentially do something like that. Murmuring Mystic, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying, and if Shark Typhoon's out, you make a XX shark token as well. Start just flooding the board with birds and sharks. Here's where I put Favorable Wind. Yes, creatures you control with flying get +1/+1, and you make a 2/2 shark actually a 3/3 shark because of that +1/+1. And then, of course, this goes into a actual Talran Sky Summoner deck. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. And I think I have one last card for this, and that's Metallurgic Summonings. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So you'll make an XX shark and an XX flying shark and an XX construct artifact creature token. So this is pretty good. Now, of course, let's throw all of that on the right out. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so that's planeswalkers, enchantments, artifacts, sure. So you don't have to put it in this instant sorcery tribal that I got between Murmuring Mystic, Talran, Metallurgic Summonings, but it's an idea. Sea Dasher Octopus, 1 generic, 2 blue mana creature octopus, rare, has mutate, 1 generic and a blue. If you cast a spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top plus all abilities from underneath it. I did realize today, between talking with my buddy, that mutate does not happen at instant speed because these are still creature spells we're talking about, and it is if you cast a spell for its mutate cost. So it's actually an alternate cost, which gets a little confusing for newer Magic players, so I apologize in advance. But understand that if you're an older Magic player or a judge, for instance, this is an alternate cost, and so it still follows the card type in the card type timing rules. That being said, this card does have flash, so whenever, meaning you can mutate it at instant speed, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and it is a 2/2 for 3. As far as this card, I really didn't have much to say about it. There's Azorius Night Arbiter in Standard right now, can't be blocked. So you can put this on top of creatures that can't be blocked. But also, it would be kind of cool just to give them this option of letting you draw a card. As well as making a 2020. This is another card, by the way, that I'm spoiling today. I forgot to spoil the other day, which was Colossification. 5 generic and 2 green mana, enchantment or a rare. Enchant creature, when Colossification enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and enchanted creature gets +20/+20. Possibly making any commander, most commanders anyways, a one-shot kill. For the next turn, especially if you have a card like Sigarda's Aid out and all of a sudden you have a 21/21. That would be ridiculous, but anyways, not the point. Sea Dasher Octopus basically says, I will kill you in one hit with Colossifications and draw a card. So I find that very funny. Very funny. Our next card of the day. Frondland Felidar, 2 generic, a green, and a white creature cat beast. It is a rare. It is Vigilance. It does not Felidar Sovereign, sadly. But it has Vigilance. Creatures you control with Vigilance have 1 generic and tap that creature. Tap target creature. Fear not the behemoth herd from miles away. Fear the stalking Felidar, which reveals itself only for the kill. Rielle the Everwise from earlier. Interesting. It is a 3/5 for 4 mana. That is just good enough, plus the Vigilance, plus the ability that it can use itself. The cool thing about these Vigilant creatures is that they can attack, and then they can hold up that tap target creature ability for your opponent's turn. So, the thing is, it doesn't say creatures that are not tokens, and there's actually some creatures right now in Standard that can help you with that. So Conclave Cavalier herself has Vigilance, but as well makes two Vigilant creature tokens. The other card I was thinking about is Divine Visitation. If you're going to go ahead for a token deck, you might as well go all the way 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance. So not only are they able to fly over any big creatures your opponents might have that are on the ground, but they can also tap those creatures so they're not dealing damage to you. This will really help a token deck for sure. I believe I did have this one last card, Sigiled Sword of Valeron, which is also in standard. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance, so you can give one of your creatures vigilance, but also, whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance that's attacking that can instantly, after being equipped creature attacks, so that's after you declare attackers, before blockers are declared, you can tap both this creature and the knight that you just made for 2 mana, tapping 2 target creatures. Pretty good. Pretty good. I do believe that there will be some weird Vigilant Tribal made out of this, which is going to be interesting to see. I think, honestly, white-green token Vigilance is pretty cool. So yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a very interesting thing to watch. Keep an eye out. I am already brewing ideas. Already. Cubwarden. 3 generic, 1 white for a creature cat. Rare. Mutate for 2 generic and 2 white mana. As lifelink. Whenever this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. So it's not the best. In all actuality, it's 4 generic, 2 generic and 2 white to make one of your creatures mutate. I'm assuming you're going to want to mutate this card, because even as a 3/5, it's okay with that lifelink ability, but maybe you don't. Maybe you want to mutate something on it. That's actually a very cheap mutate cost from what I've been seeing. But whenever this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Again, that's just kind of to me. Kind of But I do love the idea of these creating 2 1/1 white creature tokens coming back. There was a card not too long ago, and I, of course, blank on the name right now, but whenever it attacks, it made 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens, I believe, tapped and attacking, and with lifelink, and that was pretty good. I remember that card being insane. So I thought for a second this card would be similar, but with the whole mutate not really being that good to me, I don't know. I don't want to put all my things in the barrel here. The only real thing I thought about this was and just double checking, no, Everquill Phoenix, 2 generic, 2 red. Whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather. So this could make it into basically just a creature that can continuously bring itself back, mutate, bring itself back, mutate. That's what I was thinking about here. Luminous Broodmoth. I was thinking about being able to mutate Cubwarden onto Luminous Broodmoth, and then going from there. I'm still kind of unsure how this would work with tokens, but I think it works with tokens. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. I see, the thing is, like, tokens kind of disappear when they leave the battlefield, so I don't know if that happens or not. But if it did, and if you're a judge and can answer this for me, I would like to say that these two cards could work well together. I do apologize, I am not a judge, not even level 1, sadly. Although I go over so many judgment rules with my friends in a play group. But anyways, I don't know what you exactly think about Cubwarden. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Always leave me a comment, I always respond. Ah, yes, another iffy card for me. Lorrus of the Dream-Den. 1 generic and a hybrid mana of white and black, and a hybrid mana of a white and a black. Legendary creature, cat, nightmare, rare. Companion. Each permanent card in your starting deck has converted mana cost 2 or less. Ooh, that's just bad. That's super bad. Lifelink. During each of your turns, you may cast 1 permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. So the problem I have with this card right off the bat is that it doesn't support more copies of itself in your deck. And it doesn't bring copies of itself back. I know that kind of sounds weird to say it like that, but I kind of want it to bring itself back. especially with Mutate being on standard and we can put another creature on top of this creature. I kind of want to be able to bring itself back. But anyways, during each of your turns, you may cast one permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. So here's the thing with that. I thought about cards like Pacifism. I think there's 2 or 3 different cards, even like a white artifact card, that says enchanted creature can't do really anything for 2 mana. So that's something that you can do on each of your turns. I hate how it words like that. It almost makes it sound on each turn, but it's each of your turns. Another card that would be kind of good just to keep reoccurring is Vampire of the Dire Moon. For the Death Touch and Lifelink, nobody wants to lose their big creature to a Death Touch and a Lifelink 1/1. Nobody. Another good card just to bring back to continuously scry you and draw a card each of your turns. Omen of the Sea. Yeah, you sacrifice it and then bring it back. Sacrifice it, bring it back. And just go on an infinite loop. And actually, with this being an Esper colors together, this wouldn't be that bad. Making like an Esper pacifism deck would not be such a bad idea. And then beating people senselessly with a 1/1 lifelink Death Toucher. Yes. Slow, durdle, but it's a win, I guess. Mythos of Brokkos. 2 generic, 2 green mana, sorcery, rare. If you pay blue and black if blue and black was spent to cast this spell, search your library for a card. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Return up to 2 permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, this can be a tutor if you pay blue and a black. And I mean, it's the same mana cost, same CMC anyways, of Diabolic Tutors, so I don't like that. But returning up to 2 permanent cards from your graveyard is, I guess, okay. It's not my favorite. Really, it's not. I like the other Mythoses better. The most unexpected weapon that a monster can wield is Kindness. Tales of the Ozolith. Interesting. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this card. The next card is Blitz of the Thunder-Raptor, 1 generic, 1 red, instant, uncommon. Blitz of the Thunder-Raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. So I would first like to mention that this would go great in some Commander Is It in Jeskai Spellslinger decks. But in Standard, there's going to be this kind of like copy-friendly, copy instants and sorceries tribal deck or theme deck, I guess is the best way of putting it. And this would go great in that because it would be like targeted removal, but really cheap, and you kind of need it to be cheap so you can play the copy spells. So I really dig this card. Of course, it does nothing if it's the first card if it's the first instant or sorcery you cast in a game. But I love also that it exiles cards, which is really good because that means that if that creature or planeswalker would die this turn. So actually, it does not kill gods, but it does make sure black players can't play things from the graveyard primarily. Or resolve players, whatever color does not have a graveyard anymore and it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm kind of digging this card, Blitz of the Thunder-Raptor. Yeah. Next card, Insatiable Hemophage. 3 generic and a black creature, nightmare, uncommon, has mutate for 2 generic and a black, has Death Touch. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated, and it is a 3/3. I mean, I don't necessarily like mutate, so these types of cards, you kind of have to put them in there to support the card, but support the mechanic, but as far as mutate, like, it's so easy to target removal crap with mutate, and then on top of that, even if you somehow get the one, I'm sure to be printed soon, hexproof mutator, you still you're still weak to a board wipe. And then in the current standard, there's a bunch of targeted removal, there's a bunch of board wipes. Even if you give this creature indestructible somehow, there's a bunch of exiling because gods are in standard right now. So I just don't see mutate really being that good. I'm not going to harp on it too long, but I don't see a redeeming quality in this card. You're not going to be able to mutate so many times that you're just like, wow, oh, the life gain. So, no. Valian Rescuer. 1 generic, 1 white, creature, human, soldier, uncommon. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and it is cycling 2 generic, discard this card, draw a card. The floating city of Skycell has 2 rules. Don't leave your crewmates behind, and don't mess with the guardrails. Okay. Love the card art on this. He's actually rescuing somebody. Look at that. Valiant Rescuer. As far as the card itself, I've been saying this over and over again, but I haven't said it for this video yet. When I first saw cycling, it was in Amonkhet block. And in the Amonkhet block, to the best of my abilities, I had never built a good cycling deck. Currently, in Ikoria Standard, cycling looks at least half decent. I can imagine, if not using it as a main theme, at least using it as a sub-theme in multiple different decks. So I actually like this card. It's a cycle payoff. You make a 1/1 human creature token, basically, first time each turn. So you can cycle on your turn, then cycle on their turn, and then cycle on your turn, and yeah, 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Now, the body on this card, I think, is honestly wrong. He's not attacking the creature, so really this number should be flipped. It should be a 1/3, but I'm not an RD, I don't make cards, and honestly, if it was a 1/3, it would be a little more dangerous and possibly moved up to a rare. It being so easily killed by any type of let's deal 1 damage to each creature on the battlefield spell. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good that it's not that good, if you get my drift. The next card, Migration Path. 3 generic and a green for a sorcery, is uncommon. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And then cycling of 2 generic. Discard this card and draw a card. Now, I know this would have been too much to ask. I get it, but I wish it had a cycling of 1 generic and 1 green and do half the card. Search your library for up to 1 basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped. It doesn't, sadly, so we'll get over it, but as far as the card itself, it gives you an out. It basically says draw a card for 2 mana, or search your library for up to 2 basic land cards for 4 mana. So, I at least enjoy that part, it being kind of like a split card. But we already have, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Circuitous Route, that basically does this, but it also is able to get you gates instead. So, for now, once Circuitous Route goes out of standard, that's a cool card, sure. Barrier Breach. This is going to be an insane card for Commander. I want y'all to pay attention to this card, especially for Commander. 2 generic, a green, and instant uncommon. How is this card an uncommon? Exile up to 3 target enchantments. And it's cycling 2 generic. Discard this card, draw a card. They cast wards, thinking it will protect them, but the bigger monsters find a way through. Cunning Nightbonder Prodigy. So, the cool thing about this card is, even if you're not playing against people using enchantments, you say, screw it, discard this card, draw a card. But let's imagine that you're playing against people that are playing enchantments. Not only can you kill the gods, you can kill 3 target gods. Oh my gosh, that is insane. 3 target, let's be fair with this, target Theros gods. There, Sneaky Narcotic got it right that time. But jeez Louise, in Commander, you're almost certainly playing against somebody playing with an enchantment. I don't know of a game that I've gone where not at least one person at the table has sat down and played an enchantment. Unless they turn to win, which has only happened like maybe twice in my 5 years of playing Commander. So I just think this card's insane, even if you're not playing against an enchantment person. Exile in up to 3. It doesn't even... They could have did that. They could have just said 3 target enchantments, and you would have to have 3 target enchantments to choose from. But they said up to 3. That's even better. I don't know. Maybe I'm going overboard with how much I'm gushing over this card, but that's just insane for Commander. In Standard right now, too, there's a bunch of decks that use enchantments. A bunch of decks. We're constantly building around the Theros gods. Goodbye, Thassa. Goodbye, I think Thassa's Oracle, if I'm not mistaken, is an enchantment. Oh god. I hate to take up time, but I have to double check that. But, anyways. That card is pretty good. It's pretty good. Guys, it's pretty good. Our next card on the board is Stormwild Capridor. It is 2 generic and a white for a creature bird goat. Interesting. And it is uncommon. Has flying. It says if non-combat damage would be dealt to Stormwild Capridor, prevent that damage. Awesome. But also put a +1/+1 counter on Stormwild Capridor for each 1 damage prevented this way. After a disastrous day of battle, Lava Brink's lightning mages were recalled, and it is a 1/3. This card screws red. Like, seriously screws red, and I just enjoy that it does. By the way, on a different note, Thassa's Oracle is not an enchantment, so you can finish finish skewering me in the comment section. But yes, this card absolutely screws red, because it red's whole targeted removal removes cards based off of dealing damage. So this is going to be a good card to sideboard against red. This actually would prevent that damage. I guess this prevents fight damage too, which would be like in green, target creature fights another target creature, because that's not necessarily during the combat phase and not necessarily combat damage. So that I'm gonna need a judge call on that. That's pretty good. So possibly a sideboard against green, possibly a sideboard against red. Excuse me. Pouncing Shore Shark. 4 generic and a blue for a creature shark beast uncommon. Mutate 3 generic and a blue. Has flash. Whenever this creature mutates, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand, and it's a 4/3. I like that it's a shark beast, and it's literally a land shark, but the ability sucks. The flash is okay. The mutate's okay. But the ability sucks. So okay, the ability doesn't suck. The CMC sucks. 5 mana, but I'd rather mostly use this for its mutate. So yeah, just gonna be honest there. Boneyard Lurker, 2 generic, a green, and a black creature nightmare beast uncommon. Mutate it for 2 generic into hybrid mana of black or green. Whenever this creature mutates, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, 4/4 for 4, that's on par, but mutate is also the same cost. And actually, the mutate is even playable than the actual card, since you can put it in just black or just green. Whenever this creature mutates, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. That could be good in a mutate tribal, because then you can continuously bring back mutatable cards, make your creature bigger, develop your creature, it's really going to come down to the ramp that you're allowed, in all actuality, because Mutate is so expensive to build around, as far as mana. But yeah, I think this actually will possibly make Mutate a good playable way, especially with its Mutate ability being the one thing that's easier to play. So pay attention to this card. I think it might be in some decks. Speaking of a card that might be in some decks, Footfall Crater, 1 red, enchantment or uncommon, enchant land. Enchanted land has tap it, target creature gains trample in haste until end of turn, and it has cycling for 1, just in case that ability wasn't good enough. So yeah, enchanted land has target creature gains trample in haste until end of turn. Red has probably been waiting for this for a long time. This builds upon the idea of big red, but for 1 red mana itself, that's pretty insane. You're putting on something that doesn't get removed a lot, in quotations. Sometimes, yes, you are playing against that 1 land hate deck that's just gonna hate your deck out for playing land enchantments. But yeah, so I think this card will definitely see playing Commander, because Red's been wanting something like this to happen for a long time, something that gives the red creatures trample, but also just because you're playing a lot of big creatures, and would also be the reason for Standard. And when you're mutating, you're making these creatures with all these awesome abilities, and sometimes they're big creatures as well in power and toughness, and target creature gains trample for just tapping a land, 1 land. Yes please. And also haste, if you all of a sudden get that creature to be pretty cool, is good. So yeah, we'll definitely watch out for this card, because it fixes a lot of issues that I feel like red players have been waiting on, and also most green players are just like, yes, another card that gives my creatures trample. And it doesn't even, like, that's another thing. Green has a lot of cards that give enchantments that give your creature trample by enchanting your creature, but now you just target your creature, and it's reusable. Oh my god, that's so good. Ominous Seas, 1 generic, 1 blue for an enchantment, uncommon. Whenever you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter on Ominous Seas. Remove 8 foreshadow counters from Ominous Seas. Create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token, and guess what? It supports itself, kind of, by having cycling. So yeah, this card reminded me of such a beautiful card from back in the day, and it was called The Thing in the Ice, and it was such a beautiful card. And this card, oh man, this card reminds me of it so hard. But anyways, if this card is any as good as that card, then we're gonna have some fun in Standard. And 8/8 for drawing 8 cards. That's what it said. Remove 8. Yeah, drawing 8 cards, and you draw a card per turn. So draw a card per one of your turns. But in blue, you're also trying to draw cards anyways. So this is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good card. It's gonna be a good card. Rooting Moloch, 4 generic in a red creature lizard, uncommon. When Rooting Moloch enters the battlefield, exile target card with a cycling ability from your graveyard. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, and itself has cycling to generic. I can kind of see it bringing itself back over and over again, like another copy of it. But as far as this card, I don't know how I feel about it, because let's say, for instance, you remove an 8, create an 8/8. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just looking over Ominous Seas again, and I realized that once you make that 8/8 Kraken creature token, you restart. That is insane. That is super good. So, I'm sorry. Ominous Seas, buy 4 copies, all foiled. As far as Rooting Moloch, if I can keep playing my Ominous Seas after people target removal, my Ominous Seas, not exiling, hopefully, then yeah, I'll play Rooting Moloch or 2. Sure. That sounds fun. Their feeding habits leave them with gizzards full of tumbled genes. There we go. That works. Bastion of Remembrance. 2 generic and a black for an enchantment uncommon. When Bastion of Remembrance enters a battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Lives taken or lives not easily forgotten. So, first things first, love that this card doesn't just say whenever a creature that's not a token creature dies. I hate cards that do that, but this is basically Cruel Celebrant on an enchantment, which is good because Cruel Celebrant is easy to like kill itself or not really defend, or oh my god, Lava Coiled. So it's nice to see a card that can stay, but also kind of supports itself with that 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So you can at least one time get that 1 life and 1 gain. But as far as like the card itself, it just, I always want cards to do more. I really do. I know I'm looking at uncommon cards, but I want to look at rare cards and possibly mythic rare cards. So I think this card is good if you build it a build around it, and it's not going to be hard to build around it. There's already an Orzhov/Mardu Aristocrats deck that wants to kill your creatures and gain you life and lose you life. So I think this card will be already put into one of the decks I've already made, Orzhov Aristocrats. So yeah. Aha, this is a fantastic card. Hold on just a second. Excuse me, all that talking makes me want to cough. Swallowing Bite, 1 white mana, sorcery, uncommon. As you can see, I had the only translated version of this was on MTG Goldfish, so apologies for grabbing from Goldfish. They are some pretty cool people if you ever want to go check them out, and always check out their website. They are pretty quick on the draw when it comes to translating these cards. Sorcery uncommon, as an additional cost to cast a spell, tap an untapped creature you control. Cool. Exile target tapped creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on the creature tapped to cast a spell. What did you just do for 1 mana? The world is a better place with 1 less hunter in it. Winota Heart Bonder. So, yeah, for 1... Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's sorcery speed. Ooh, I really thought this was an instant speed for a second. I was going to say this is insane. But, okay, so for the cost of tapping one of your creatures, you exile target tapped creature and put a +1/+1 counter on the creature tapped to cast a spell. But it kind of fits into that vigilance try I was talking about a little earlier. If you're able to tap your target creatures, then this is going to be really good. So I want to say watch out for this card. It's at least going to be in sideboard somewhere, but I'm not certain where it ends up, and not for sure that this card will end up. So I don't know. Pay attention though. It could be cool. Escape Protocol. 1 generic, 1 blue. Enchantment uncommon. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1 generic. When you do, exile target artifact or creature you control. Then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Sanctuaries. Harnessed the glowstone's natural reaction to monsters to create a warning system. So, here's the cool thing about Escape Protocol. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1 and blink. So when you blink a creature, you can actually blink it back in untapped if you had it tapped, and it can become a blocker. So I do think this will be really cool in like a cycle subtype deck, where ETB is the main theme. So we'll see how it goes. It looks pretty cool. I definitely keep an eye out for 2 mana. I love this, and love that the enchantments are getting good for a 2 mana. Lore Drakkis. 1 generic, 1 blue, 1 red creature lizard beast uncommon. Mutate for a hybrid mana of red and blue, or another hybrid mana of red and blue. And another hybrid mana of red and blue. Whenever this creature mutates, return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Probably the cheapest mutate that I've seen so far, so definitely playable just off that. And the other, when this creature mutates, blah 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 blah. but the instant of sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Now, that's good. Like I said earlier, there's this like instant tribal coming, the copy instant sorcery or instant tribal is coming back in a way, and I'm really on the wall about it because it was so bad last time. But it could be good. It could be super good. And actually, there was at one point in time a Teamer fog deck built. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it had Ral Zarek Storm Conduit as the win condition, or Expansion Explosion as the win condition, and returning target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to the battlefield, or to your hand anyways, will help a lot when you're trying to return those fog cards that you lost. So this could be good, just in Teamer Fog. Sanctuary Lockdown, 2 generic and a white enchantment, uncommon. Humans you control get +1/+1. 2 generic, tap 2 untapped human you control, tap target creature and opponent controls. Draneth gives no quarters to traders. General Kudrow. So I really think this is a great enchantment because A, it's not legendary, but B, it's an anthem that also taps creatures. That's pretty good when you're when you're having these stupidly huge monsters coming at you. To have your human tokens be 2/2s, I assume, or 3/3s, depending, and being able to tap 2 of them to tap target creature and opponent controls. So that could be really good. A card that I'll mention but won't show here is Verity Circle. There's a lot of these tapping target creature cards right now. Verity Circle's price might go up, so go check it out. But Verity Circle basically says whenever your opponent taps a creature for not declaring attacks, you draw a card. So let's imagine you have that on the field and you pay 2 generic, tap 2 untapped humans you control, tap target creature and opponent controls, and draws a card. What a mouthful, but I think it will be really interesting to try to put that together. Exuberant Wolfbear. What did you call it? Yes, a Wolfbear. It is 3 generic and a green creature, Wolf Bear, uncommon. Whenever Exuberant Wolfbear attacks, you may change the base power and toughness of target human you control to Exuberant Wolfbear's power and toughness until end of turn. Sometimes the Eludaha is a sacred harmony of souls. Sometimes the bonder grabs some fur and holds on tight. It is a 4/4. So I love the flavor text, going back to all this bonding stuff that's happening on Ikoria, but also like between this and the flavor text from Sanctuary Lockdown. Draneth gives no quarters to traders. People are not taking too kindly to people bonding with Beast, and that's kind of funny. But anyways, so this card is going to be really good for Sealed because it's going to have it where you attack with 2 creatures, let's say. Well, excuse me, let's be more specific. Target human you control and Exuberant Wolfbear. You attack and they see that your 1/1 human is crap, right? It's absolute crap. But you also boost Exuberant Wolfbear and make your human absolutely not crap. And that's going to be really good when you can just combat trick your opponent. So, yes, here we are with some German. For 1 blue and 1 black, 2 hybrid mana of blue and black. Cunning Nightbonder. It is a creature human rogue, at least as far as I could translate it, and it has flash. Spells you control with flash cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. That is insane. That is pretty good. I wish I could read. I used to know German at least a little bit, and I can't. Something. God, I used to know that way better. But anyways, It's a 2/2 for 2 with flash, so that's by itself pretty good. But this is going to be good in the flash tribal deck that we already have, Simic Flash, because you can play it in Simic Flash. You don't need to play black to play this card. So flash it in, then your flash spells cost 1 less, and it's not legendary, so you can make your flash spells cost little to nothing. This is going to be really good, and especially when flash doesn't have a lot of draw power and their spells are kind of costly with 4 mana. It's going to cut it down to where they're mostly 2 mana, and you can do some more drawing off of that 1/1 pay 4 mana and draw a card creature that everybody loves to play in flash. So keep this in mind. This card will definitely be seen somewhere, but more than likely in flash. Our next card, and I think this might be our last card of the day, I'll double check in a second, but Savai Thunderlion. It is a creature elemental cat. It has, whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 2 generic. If you do, Savai Thunderlion deals 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. Love it. You basically shock a creature and gain 2 life for 2 generic that you're using to draw a card anyways. Don't know why you did that. Okay. Sorry, my computer just did something weird that you probably didn't see, but if you did, yeah, it did that. So, yeah, so 2 generic and damage to target creature. I wish it also said Planeswalker. That would have been pretty cool too. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I do apologize for kind of slurring and slipping on some words. It is pretty late for me as it is right now. As well as being a long day at work, but I am going to be here every single day with spoilers. They didn't really have a lot of spoilers this weekend, so that's why I kind of had to wait till today to make an actual video of it. But if they put enough out, I can definitely make these. Also, take a look at this picture I found today. It has all of the apexes of blah blah blahs on here, and I think they all look so cool. But look at Brokkos. He just looks so cute. He looks so friendly. Hello, Brokkos. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do all the usual YouTube stuff. Pay close attention. I will be putting up a video every single night, probably this week, since it's still spoiler season. And then when we go past spoiler season, I will be putting. I've rediscovered untap.in, and I fully support them. If you want some magic, you need some magic, and you don't like MTGA, or you like Legacy, Modern, Commander, which is the #1 thing I'm playing on untap.in, go play it. It's free. It's totally free. You have access to all the cards. Go play it. Meet me on there. We'll have some fun. But yes, I will probably be trying to play some of these decks before Arena gets them on untap.in, just to try to see if I can put some cards together that are super fun, some combos from this set that I just love and adore. Ominous Seas. Yes, I'm talking about you, Ominous Seas. It is me again. But yeah, so please, like I said, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. I always talk to you, anybody that leaves a comment below. And this is Sneaky Narcotic, signing off.